Landing your dream job as an art director, a designer, or a copywriter in advertising hinges on one thing: a killer portfolio. Portfolio schools position themselves as the direct track to doing just that. But is it the right track for you?
I don't know, and I don't know how to know. You know?
Before you invest significant time and money, let's talk about the pros and cons of attending a portfolio school. So, you know a great portfolio is your ticket to landing a job at an ad agency. And while most undergraduate programs touch on portfolio development, they often don't get you to the level that the top agencies demand. And as an advertising major, you might graduate with something resembling a portfolio, but the spec work in it is often lacking. That's why many aspiring copywriters, art directors, designers, and now even strategists turn to portfolio schools. Think of it as a dedicated boot camp where you're going to be laser focused on honing your practical skills and crafting a portfolio that shows off your best creative thinking. Sounds pretty great, right? Well, let's start with the potential downsides of portfolio schools. There are only two that I could think of, but to be honest, they are pretty huge roadblocks for a lot of people. The absolute biggest potential downside to going to portfolio school is the price. For most comprehensive programs, you're looking at anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000. It is worth noting that the higher end of that spectrum is often for programs where you get an actual master's degree, so that naturally raises the price a little bit. And you might stumble on some free portfolio programs. And if you want to do that, that's great. But it's important to understand that these are usually very small, highly competitive to get into, and often don't deliver the same caliber of portfolios as the dedicated tuition-based schools. Many portfolio schools do offer some scholarships or financing options, so it's definitely worth investigating that. But the reality is, portfolio school is a significant financial commitment. To be honest, this is the main thing that keeps most people from going to portfolio school. The other hurdle is the time commitment. These programs are designed to be intensive. You're going to be producing a high volume of work, constantly working on briefs, developing campaigns, and refining your portfolio pieces. And when you're not in class, you'll likely be brainstorming with your partner or crafting your campaigns.
I checked this out weeks ago for a bit of light reading.
It demands a lot of focus and energy, and let's be honest, creative thinking is already pretty mentally exhausting. Because of this intense schedule, holding down a full-time job while in portfolio school can be pretty challenging, if not impossible. Realistically, you'll need to consider just working part-time, or if your financial situation allows, not working and just dedicating all of your time to the program to get the most out of it. If those two things haven't scared you away, amazing.
I don't get scared.
Let's talk about the numerous advantages that attending a portfolio school will afford you. The most obvious one is a killer portfolio, which we've established is the key to grabbing the attention of major agencies. The teachers at these schools want your portfolio to be amazing because when you succeed, it makes the school look good. And also because they're usually just genuinely great people to begin with.
I can teach you how to bewitch the mind and ensnare the senses.
So they're going to push you hard to make sure you're putting your absolute best work out there. Coming out of these programs, you're going to have a portfolio full of spec campaigns. And each of those campaigns are going to be based on a super smart insight, have well-crafted copy and art direction, will include all kinds of strategic executions, and are interesting enough to make a recruiter or a creative director take notice. The next pro is the people. Your teachers will likely be advertising professionals, a lot of whom are still working in agencies or freelancing in the industry. They know what's really happening in the industry and can make sure you are adequately prepared for agency life.
Math is a really cool thing.
And the other students, your partners, are just as obsessed with landing their dream advertising job as you are. You'll be surrounded by people who are also laser focused on making great work. And that kind of environment is going to help you learn much faster and come up with better ideas. The next pro is the connections you'll have. Getting a job in advertising comes down to your portfolio and who you know. Networking is key, and portfolio schools can hand you some major connections. Those teachers I just mentioned, the ones who are probably working at an agency while teaching you, that's a whole network right there. They've got contacts, they know everyone at their agency, plus people that they used to work with, and that can be a huge help for you. A lot of the major ad agencies actively scout talent from portfolio schools. You'll often see recruiters coming to portfolio reviews looking for junior talent. And some agencies use these portfolio schools as their main source for new hires. And let's not forget, the school itself has a vested interest in getting you hired. A high placement rate for their graduates is a major selling point for the school. So they're going to be actively working to connect you with potential opportunities. And it's worth noting too that a lot of advertising newbies have to start with internships.
Well, I was gonna say intern/best friend.
But your portfolio school level book will likely land you a junior role right out of the gate. So what's the verdict on portfolio school? Yay or nay? On one hand, you are almost guaranteed to walk away with a very strong portfolio. You'll be connecting with people who love advertising and learning from industry pros. Plus, you'll snag those crucial agency connections that can give you a serious leg up on finding a job. But on the other hand, it's gonna hit your wallet hard, and it's a major time commitment. You've got to be all in.
40,500,000 all in.
So here's my honest opinion. If your sights are set on a major ad agency and you can handle the financial and time commitment, portfolio school would be a really smart move for you. You can't really get a job at a major ad agency without a very strong portfolio, so a portfolio school program would be your best bet for making that happen. But if that cost or time commitment feels like a mountain that you are not prepared to climb, don't sweat it. You can absolutely break into this industry without going to portfolio school. I didn't go, but I also didn't have the burning desire to work at a huge major ad agency. I enjoy the small and mid-sized companies. So I made a portfolio on my own with the mentorship of a copywriter friend of mine and an art director I hired to turn my copy into some print ads. Building a portfolio on your own is totally doable, but it does require a large amount of self-discipline and dedication. If that sounds like something you're up for, and you're okay with potentially starting out at a smaller shop, likely in an internship, then you would be fine without portfolio school. So after hearing all of that, what is your gut telling you? Is portfolio school in your future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and tell me what other stuff about advertising you want to learn next.